Welcome back. Driving on a national road has become a dice with death in South Africa. A severed rail network and increased coal demand means more trucks and more accidents. And this two-part special reporter, eNCA senior reporter Dasen Thathiah, looks at what's behind the spike in truck crashes with possible solutions.
Yeah, that I've been told.
Then, your whole world changes. Everything, the way you think.
Tiaan Barnard could hardly contain himself when June 30th finally arrived.
They were like little kids, even my dad and my husband. I think they were so excited. And we got up and I made sure everything was, I had to remind them of certain things that had to be taken with. So we did that, we packed everything, and then they left about 4. They were out of here. So yeah, so we did say obviously drive safe and pray before you leave and just the usual family stuff. We've always been a family that does that, especially when we do travel long distance, which we normally will do to Johannesburg and stuff. But we always have this thing when you're driving, just be safe. So I made sure that he prayed, I did pray, I even told my younger brother to pray.
They'd been planning a hunting trip to the northern KZN town of Pongola for months. Tiaan Barnard was with his wife's cousin, Zach Munsami, and 2 other relatives in his bakkie. His father-in-law, Loganathan Pillay, and friend Nico Vollensteer were in another vehicle.
I called him and I said, babe, did you check your license, your gun license? And he said, yes, I did. And I said, okay, but you didn't give me the card. And he says, oh, okay, I'm coming back. And I said, no, don't. It's fine. I don't really need it. I'm going to be at home. If I need anything, I'll let you know. And he says, okay, if I get there and you need anything, because I don't drive, he'll have like Checkers delivery come through, So I said, okay, don't stress, carry on, love you, bye.
She didn't know it then, but that would be their last phone call.
My cousin was here, her partner. We were busy cleaning, and I got a call from my little brother's friend. And she said, obviously she told me who she was, I know her, and she says, there's been an accident. Asgard said, I must let you know. He hurt his hand, he broke his hand, and Zane hurt his head, but they're okay, contact them. So I'm like, okay, and then I'm like, first I thought she's lying. I thought, you get teenagers playing these things of accident or whatever, and in my head I'm thinking, I'm gonna kill you if you lied about this, because this is big now, And so Nikki was here and I said, start phoning because there's an accident. So we tried everybody's phone, like I tried my husband, I tried my father, my brother, nothing. And then eventually I got through to Nico's phone. So, sorry. When I called Nico's phone, a guy answered, and for me it was Nico. That's what I thought in that moment, and I was quite relieved.
Her relief was short-lived. The man on the other end told her Nico was no more.
My little brother took the phone, and he always calls me Tosni, and he says, then I said, Asgard, are you okay? I heard there was an accident, I heard Nico passed away. So I'm obviously blabbering all these things, and he says, I'm okay, I broke my hand, but I'm okay. So I said, okay, they can't find Daddy, where's Daddy? And he says, Tosni, Daddy's gone. And I just started screaming, and I was like, okay, give Tiaan the phone, let me speak to Tiaan. And then he goes silent, and I started screaming, just give him the phone now. And then he said to me, he's also gone. And that's when I was just like, I remember screaming, and as I got shocked, and then my cousin looked at me and said, where's Zach? And I said, and where's Zach? And he said, she's also gone. And I just remember it was hard listening to the whole 4 deaths. It didn't feel like, I felt like it's going to be a bad dream or, The truck came onto my husband's lane, so completely onto his opposite direction. So there was no way that he could go. There's no other route. It was a barrier. So obviously it took out his whole side and my cousin's. From what I've known, I wasn't able to view my husband's face. My husband was decapitated. He took a very hard blow to his face, and They said that it hit him like from here upwards. I did speak to the guy that was obviously on the scene because my family didn't want to go into detail, and for me it felt like I'm trying to gather everything, you know. And I said, just tell me, just give it to me the way it is, and I need to know so one day I can tell my kids, or I can just mentally accept it. The guy said to me that they didn't even find my husband's skull or anything like that. So that's how badly or how hard this truck hit our bakkie in order to smash him completely.
It was a multi-vehicle collision, as you're aware, and in terms of that, the normal investigation processes have to follow. It was a culpable homicide case. So detectives have taken statements, they've gathered evidence. There were certain reports, coming out of those statements, certain things had to be investigated. So evidence was gathered. The last thing I'm told by the station commander was that the photo album was handed in, and they received that today. So the investigating officer will now submit the docket to the senior public prosecutor to make a decision on whether to prosecute anyone.
Come on scene, there's multiple heavy motor vehicles involved.
The crash has risen to 6.
Serious accident.
Practically 5 people have sustained fatal injuries.
It looks like 2 vehicles that ended into a truck.
Massive accident.
With 3 trucks and 6 vehicles involved in a collision.
Both lanes of traffic will be at a standstill. It's only just happened.
In September, 20 people, mostly pupils, met a similar fate in Pongola when this truck slammed into their bakkie. This month, 4 people lost their lives when another truck plowed into cars near the Marion Hill toll plaza.
You know, we're coming to that time of the year where the volume of trucks on our roads are increasing drastically. It's not been just this year, not last year, it's been ever since. And it's a huge problem in a way that there's no proper control. That is why all these accidents happen.
I'd say you'd be looking at between 1 a day to 1 every second day coming along. It also varies on weather condition. I mean, if you got poor rain weather, poor visibility, it becomes more frequent.
Would it be fair to say that there's been an increase in truck accidents? That seems to be the perception, that we're seeing more of them, but you would know better.
Definitely. I would definitely say there are definitely more truck accidents happening out there.
The current problem there is they just go drive past the arrest bit. There are no traffic officers. The problem we had recently just before Marion Hill Plaza, where that young couple got killed, that truck, the video footage I've seen, was absolutely flying. Why? He's got a long stretch all the way from Shongweni Bridge, running past Zulu Waters, and there's no place for him to stop. So he's got a free run all the way down. Again, I ask the question, where are the traffic officers standing at the plaza?
The potential of injury is there. It could go from something very minor to something very serious. But it's not just the injury that's concerning. It's what is that truck carrying, especially when it is a truck accident. I mean, a lot of your trucks carrying toxic chemicals, things like that. We're putting other people's lives at risk. And I mean, for us to get through that becomes an issue. So our response time getting to scene has now become lengthened because we can't get through the traffic.
For sure, there is something going wrong. And talking about the controllables, in my mind, it's purely driver and truck fitness. And of course, the parameters that we operate within as an industry, any operator, and the controls we have in place. That's where it's going wrong, if you ask me, and that's the controllable factors.
You know that Transnet at one time used to carry about 20 to 30% of cargo, containers and other goods on the rail line. And as a result of many issues, now Transnet has only carrying 5% of goods and cargo on the rail lines. So that has now been transferred onto the road, because at the end of the day, goods and services still need to reach the people. So they needed to move it from rail to road, and that is number one, is caused the increase in the number of trucks on the road. Number two, the congestion is caused by massive construction projects on the road. So construction is a good thing. It's the upgrade of the road, it's widening of the roads, it's creating jobs, it's stimulating business. So, but one of the negative consequences of road construction is increased traffic or traffic jams. And obviously there's been a huge backlog with regard to goods and services, because number one, of the Transnet strike that we had recently, and number two, especially in KZN, we had the flooding. So, you know, the 12-week period post the flooding, we couldn't really move goods safely or containers safely, so we're only beginning to address the backlog issues now, and hence the increased perceived volume of trucks on the road. People are saying we have a trucking problem. I say we don't have a trucking problem, we have a human problem. And I think as a result, all the stakeholders need to really take a human-centric approach to this problem, because it's only when we put humanity first, then we'll be able to come up with creative and, more importantly, sustainable solutions.
On its way to Richards Bay, the truck was driving along R34. Driving along R34. Jesus Christ. Jesus! Another accident again on the same place.
The cause of an accident in South Africa is because the truck are running 24 hours in the national road. That's a cause for accident. Number two is a push from truck owners. The truck owners are giving a pressure for drivers. They're paying drivers according incentive system, the kilometer and the load, so, and the target. So they tell drivers you must do so much load per month, you must push this so target. That's why you find the drivers are driving sometimes non-stop, sometimes they don't have enough time to rest because of push. Month end, if you can't do so much load, if you say come and do so 15 load, if you never done that 15 load per month or 10 load, you come to the office, you see HR, sometimes they deduct your money. They call it a penalty.
It just takes, even if it's a small accident, the moment you even actually hear the word accident, it takes you back to everything. We relive everything again. And it's disappointing now, because you would think these things happen like very rare. Like, I mean, the Pinetown accident, everybody knew about it. You know, it was a truck and it was damages. And then such a bad accident happened on the 30th of June, which I had to lose so many people, and so many other people had to lose loved ones. But then you see it's not stopping, and then you see those kids, and that it's not even the kids, there's more, and it's these trucks, and that's what me off. And it's like, it's just not ending. It's accidents, and it's not just accidents where there's just damages to vehicles. These are people's lives, and these people have to go now, these families have to go and pick up these pieces, and having to know your loved one was, imagine having to know my husband lost his face, my dad took such a bad, like, you know, a gash, and my cousin and Nico also was very bad. It's like unbelievable. I didn't even get to see my husband's face, and I still can't sleep. I still struggle to sleep, because I still think, like, how is this possible? Like, how is this even real? You know, I'm still trying to, I mean, it's only been going 4 months plus, but it's hard, because my dad lived with me, so it was 2 men from one house, my husband and my father. My cousin and I were so close. She was always here, like all the time, and now she also got taken away. So then you think, like, what did you do so wrong, you know, like, for them to be taken out like that?
Please note that we'll talk about these solutions in a follow-up feature tomorrow.